Bonjour tout le monde. Donc nous allons pas tarder à démarrer ces 2 jours.
Hello to all. We're going to be starting our 2 days soon. Thank you so much for being present. I've been asked to open this conference, which I am doing with considerable pleasure. So this is the Collège de France, and we welcome 3 conferences prior to the COP21 meeting. So the reality of global warming is, of course, no doubt for anybody, although we can still debate as to the extent of the disaster. Nevertheless, we need to take measures to avoid a catastrophe. Clearly here, this is not a catastrophe for nature. Nature will do fine without us. However, this is a catastrophe for humanity. And if we were to die thanks to global warming, trust me, this would not be a very pleasant way to go. So as for economic issues or anthropological issues or scientific and technical aspects, what appears to be an essential obstacle to making some kind of decision is the reality of inequality. The first inequality involves the carbon situation, the CO2 situation. There's huge differences between rich and poor countries, and even between various social classes within each country. The question of the underdevelopment on a world level, but also territorially speaking, also has a central role, or should play a central role in our thinking. Now, without anticipating the Anthropocene, we can see that the accelerated change in climate and the biosphere in general could tomorrow very quickly, and long before those 2 degrees rise has been attained, could nevertheless give rise to various new epidemics, famine, and millions of human beings will have to take the road of exile. This is why today in Europe we are already seeing through our death vision of the rise of extremes and nationalism. All this must not leave us with any illusions as to all the different types of violence which await us if the necessary measures are not taken quickly. Now, clearly, we have certain scientific solutions and technical solutions as well. Here, once again, there is a great deal of urgency and inequality. So green policies, so to speak, seems to many to be a solution, but long term, if we have the time. But it does appear to some as an economic opportunity, sort of a new market. So one might think here that nothing is simple and that it's simply the hope of this new El Dorado that will encourage politicians to take the proper measures. But we also need to recall research and innovation. Innovation, the daughter of research. So again, there's inequality here as well. But in any case, these sort of heat shock or thermal shock that we are seeing coming, it could also be a democratic shock. And in a moment to look at not so much abolishing, but reducing and making acceptable the most terrible inequalities at all levels. So it is not impossible that in the future we'll be seeing a political and economic model which will be even more fragile than one would expect generally. So thank you very much, and I wish you an excellent conference.